Good morning. Day 2 of Ion, Socrates. Now you assert that Homer and the other poets, among them Hesiod and Archilochus, all treat of the same subjects, yet not all in the same fashion. But the one speaks well, and the rest of them speak worse. And what I say is true, Ion replies. Socrates. Then you, if you can recognize the poet who speaks well, could also recognize the poets who speak worse, and see what they speak, and see that they speak worse. So it seems. Well then, my best of friends, when we say that Ion has equal skill in Homer and all other poets, we shall not be mistaken. It must be so, since you yourself admit that the same man will be competent to judge of all who speak of the same matters, and that the poet virtually all deal with the same subjects. Ion. Then what can be the reason, Socrates, for my behavior? When anyone discusses any other poet, I pay no attention, and can offer no remark of any value. Relevance realization. I frankly doze, but whether anyone mention Homer, immediately I awake, attentive, and full of things to say. We all have that one poet, and when his name is mentioned, immediately we awake, attentive and full. I don't know if I'm full of things to say, but eager to hear, to listen. Socrates. The riddle is not hard to solve, my friend. No, it is plain to everyone that not from art and knowledge comes your power to speak concerning Homer. If it were art that gave you power, then you could speak about all the other poets as well. There is an art of poetry as a whole. Am I not right? Yes. And is not the case the same with any other art you please, when you take it as a whole? The same method of inquiry holds for all the arts. Do you want some explanation, Ion? Or what I mean by that? Sorry, I don't know why my... Ion. Yes, Socrates. But upon my word I do. It gives me joy to listen to you wise men. It gives me joy to listen to you wise men. Joy is quite a beautiful thing. We are fortunate if we have had moments of pure joy. Socrates, I only wish you were right in saying that, Ion. But wise men, that means you, the rhapsodists and actors, and the men whose poems you chant, while I have nothing else to tell besides the truth, after the fashion of the ordinary man. For example, take the question I just now asked you. Observe what a trivial and commonplace remark it was that I uttered, something anyone might know, when I said that the inquiry is the same whether one takes an art in its entirety. Whenever one takes an art in its entirety. Let us reason the matter out. There is an art of painting taken as a whole. Okay, I'm going to read that again because it feels beautiful. The rhapsodists and actors, and the men whose poems you chant, while I have nothing else to tell besides the truth. But wise men, that means the rhapsodists and actors, and the men whose poems you chant, while I have nothing else to tell besides the truth, after the fashion of the ordinary man. It does feel as if there's different types of wisdom. And maybe most of us can only aspire to that of the actor and the rhapsodist. Quoting what other wise men or women have said, trying to truly embody it and live it and feel it, internalizing the sages. But then there's three types of wisdom that I see here. It's those who aspire to wisdom by enacting the wisdom of those who came before them. Because there is something in that which is culturally the beaten path, the well-trodden path. There is something in that. It would not have survived if it didn't have something in it. So we have the ones who enact it. Then we have the ones who wrote it. And I think Socrates is going to come back to that and to talk of them as being inspired. I'm not sure, I can't remember truly. So they do, if inspired, then that must mean there's some sort of a divine wisdom in there. And then the wisdom of man, ordinary wisdom, which Socrates claims to have, because he does, I think in the Apology, say that he has nothing comparable to the wisdom of the gods. What this entails is having nothing to tell besides the truth. What a loaded term in our days, though. I wonder if it's aletheia. There's another word for truth, but I forgot it now. After the fashion of the ordinary man. There's humility in that, right? I fear I'm one of the first. If I can inspire in any way to wisdom, I must be of the first mancha, the one who can purely enact what other wise ones have said. Brief moments of inspiration but we'll get to that. And I have no idea what the truth is, alas. Ion, yes. Socrates. There are and have been many painters, good and bad. Yes, indeed. Now take Polygymnos, son of Aglappon. Have you ever seen a man with the skill to point out what is good and what is not in the works of Polygymnos, but without the power to do so in the works of other painters? A man who, when anybody shows the works of other painters, dozes off, is at a loss, has nothing to suggest, but when he has to express a judgment on one particular painter, say Polygymnos, or anyone else you choose, wakes up, and is attentive, and is full of things to say. No, on my oath, I never saw the like. Or again, take sculpture. Have you ever seen a man with the skill to judge the finer works of Daedalus, son of Metion, and of Epius, son of Panopeus, or of Theodorus of Samos, or the works of any other single sculpture, but, confronted by the works of other sculptures, is at a loss, and dozes off without a thing to say? No, on my oath, I never saw one. Yet further, as I think, the same is true of playing on the flute, and on the harp, and singing to the harp, and rhapsody. You never saw a man with the skill to judge of Olympus, of Timorus, or of Orpheus, or of Pemeus, the rhapsodist of Ithaca, but is at a loss, has no remark to make concerning Ion the Ephesian, or his success or failure in reciting. On that I cannot contradict you, Socrates, but of this thing I am conscious, that I excel all men in speaking about Homer, and on him have much to say, and that everybody else affers I do it well. But on the other poets I do not. Well then, see what that means. Whatever else is also happening here, one thing that is happening here is this poor Ion is eagerly seeking self-knowledge, understanding himself, knowing how he operates by the hands of Socrates. Oh my word, I only read like 2 pages. The next is a very long speech by Socrates, so I'm not... Oh, that's beautiful. I'm not gonna go on today. Have a good day.